Gil Martin here, and welcome everybody to the Daily Packers Post, where we give you daily in-depth coverage of your Green Bay Packers. We're here every day, Monday through Friday. Make sure you subscribe and hit the like button so you never miss an episode. Today, we're going to take a look at three in-house candidates who could be the number one receiver for the Green Bay Packers in 2025. Everybody knows the Packers need a go-to receiver. Josh Jacobs even said exactly that after the season was over when he was making the rounds with the media at the Super Bowl. And the Packers clearly did not have a number one receiver. Now, the players we're ranking today are already on the roster. So, yes, they could bring in a Devontae Adams or a DK Metcalf or any one of a number of different candidates. But we're looking at players who are already on the roster who could take over as wide receiver one. Coming in at number 3 right now is Romeo Doubs. And Dobbs had 46 catches last year for 601 yards and 4 touchdowns, only played 13 games and started 12. Part of that was due to injury. He had 2 concussions, which are definitely a concern for his long-term health. And then he was also suspended 1 game for conduct detrimental to the team. Apparently, Dobbs was unhappy with the lack of targets he was getting, his role in the offense. And while he did have conversations with Matt LaFleur and the coaching staff and did return, the published reports that I've seen and the sources that I've spoken to indicated that Dobbs is still not happy with the situation, and we'll have to keep an eye on that. But what Dobbs does do, he is steady, he is consistent, and he has very good chemistry with quarterback Jordan Love. That is why he may, by default, be a candidate to be the wide receiver one next year. He is probably the least dynamic of the players on this list, but that doesn't mean that he can't be that go-to guy, that guy that when it's 3rd and 6, you look to Romeo Doubs to pick up 7 yards or more, and he's the guy you trust and can rely on. It will take a leap forward for Dobbs to get to that situation. Coming in at number 2 on our list is Dontavian Wicks. Wicks had 39 catches for the second straight year in 2024. He had 5 touchdown passes and gained 415 yards through the air. The issue with Wicks was dropped passes. He had 9, depending on who you ask. The 9 is from Pro Football Reference. That ranked him up near the top of the league. And in, drops per target, he was also at the top of the league. Here's a guy who has proven he can get downfield and make plays, but those drops have prevented him from taking over and bringing his game to the next level. Yes, when Christian Watson went down in 2023, it was Wicks who stepped up and became the downfield threat. But in order to take that step and become a wide receiver one, Wicks has to get a lot more consistent. And that lack of consistency really has kept him. Now, again, a lot of wide receivers, and Wicks will be entering his 3rd season in the NFL next year. A lot of receivers, Packers receivers, who we remember well, do a good job of taking that leap in their 3rd season. It happened with Jordy Nelson. It happened with Devontae Adams. We'll see if it could happen with Dontavian Wicks. And obviously, to me, the number 1 candidate on the current roster to take that next step, it's got to be Jayden Reed. Reed usually lines up in the slot. He only played 63% of the team's offensive snaps last year, and yet he led the team for the 2nd straight year in catches with 55, in receiving yards with 857, and he had 6 touchdown catches. That ranked him 2nd on the team. Like Wicks, though, Reed had issues with drops. Again, 9 according to ProFootballReference.com. And here's the big concern about Jayden Reed. In the first half of the season, he was very productive. He had that big game in the season opener down in Brazil against the Eagles. He was making plays downfield. He was involved with the jet sweeps and the end arounds, and he was just showing how much of a dangerous weapon he could be. And then in the second half of the season, almost all of his catches were at or near the line of scrimmage, some of them even behind the line of scrimmage. His productivity fell off. His consistency fell off. Again, like Wicks, Reed would need to take that third-year leap next year. The fact that he's operating out of the slot and gets less catches has not stopped him from leading the team in receiving over the last 2 years. But, I think if he's going to be a wide receiver one, he's going to have to be on the field, whether he lines up in the slot or on the perimeter or in the backfield, whatever it is they do. And they can certainly, Matt LaFleur is capable of mixing things up in that regard. All of that remains feasible. He just has to get the job done. And again, like Wicks, like Dobbs, be more consistent. The thing about the Packers receiving core, it is young, it is talented, but it lacks the consistency. And when you're not consistent, you cannot be that undisputed wide receiver one, that go-to guy, the guy that when the team needs a big play, he's the guy you can rely on. If you go back 5 years, 4 or 5 years, and you remember Aaron Rodgers' back shoulder throw to Devontae Adams, that was almost unstoppable. If they executed that play even close to right, defenses couldn't do anything to stop it. Right now, so far, there's nobody on the team right now who can fit that description. Now, whether Dobbs, Wicks, or Reed step up, they're capable of it, but they still have to do it. And I'll tell you this, GM Brian Gutekunst, he cannot just hope that one of these three guys is going to step up. He's got to bring in somebody, whether it's in the draft, via trade, or via free agency, to give this group a little more juice and a little bit of help. But we'll see if any of these three guys are capable of taking that third-year leap, or in Dobbs's case, a fourth-year leap. Don't forget, we're here every day, Monday through Friday, bringing you in-depth coverage of the Green Bay Packers. So hit subscribe and hit like, and check out our website at thepackerspost.com for daily in-depth articles on the Packers Monday through Saturday. I'm Gil Martin. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for watching. And of course, go Pack Go.